Hello and welcome to another pen video from me, Penultimate Dave. So I have here another 10 pens currently inked this week. I think let's go through these briefly one by one. We'll go through them in a little bit more detail and then we'll do a writing sample. So from left to right we have the Montblanc, and this is the Le Petit Prince Aviator Solitaire Doué Legrand. Quite a long name. We have the Montblanc Writer's Edition Jules Verne. We have the Montblanc Writer's Edition Sir Arthur Conan Doyle 1902. We have the Montblanc Writer's Edition The Brothers Grimm. The Montblanc Writer's Edition, and this is the Robert Louis Stevenson. We have a classic pen CP5 made by Parker in the vintage. A classic pen CP5 made by Parker in the modern. We have an Onoto Longitude, an Onoto, and this is the Flying Scotsman. And we have a Benu Euphoria Earl Grey tea. So I think let's take a look at these pens in a little bit more detail. This is a very beautiful Montblanc. It's a Legrand size, 146 size. But it is the Le Petit Prince Aviator. And you can see there you've got a plane there on the cap. You've got a planet there as well. It's got this lovely leather stitching, which is really from like the old days of aviators and pilots wearing sort of leather hats and goggles. I really do like this. It's a beautiful pen. It is a Doué version, and you've got the sand laser engraved here into this platinum body. You've got a very large piston cone knob there. A little star as well on the clip. It really is an interesting pen, and I love this pen. It writes really nicely, and this comes with a number 6 size medium nib. I want to say all of the modern Montblancs, you really can't post the caps. They're not designed to do so in terms of the writer's edition versions. I do have the Jules Verne where you can post a cap, but that is an older version. This is a really, really beautiful pen. I love writing with it. It's just... It's not to say that Montblancs don't write well. I've had a bit of a mix of Montblancs writing well and not well, but this one does write very well. The next one here is the Montblanc Writer's Edition, and this is the Jules Verne, and this has got this beautiful blue guilloche enamel there, and that guilloche pattern is under that enamel, or within the enamel. You've got the Montblanc snow cap there. Again, beautiful pen, and this was a pen that I really wanted. I've been looking at these sell quickly, these Jules Vernes. And I've been looking at a couple. There was one that Roy Isods had that had a bit of a scratch and a dent on it, selling for a good price, but because of the damage, and I didn't buy that one. And then a friend Tony in Kansas City in the US said that he had this medium. He really wanted a fine. He has the opportunity of getting a fine. Do I want to buy this one or do a trade? And I did a trade in the end, and really liking it. It's a beautiful pen. And it has a number 6 size nib there as well, piston filling pen. But this one you can post the cap on, but this was from like 2002, 2003. I don't know if there's a reason why Montblanc have just gone the route with the writer's editions not being able to post the caps more recently, or if it's just that's the way it's happened. I don't know. But it is nice to be able to post the cap on that, although that is a heavy pen. The next pen I've got inked up is the Montblanc Writer's Edition, and this is the Jules Verne. It's the 1902 edition. So it's a slightly more expensive version here, but you've got the magnifying glass, you've got the Hound of the Baskerville there. So the clip is the magnifying glass. It really is an interesting pen. It has a wooden cone piston knob there. You've got a pearl there as well, of abalone, was it mother of pearl. And it just, again, it's a heavy pen, made of metal, Oh, that one's got a lot of ink on it. Let me wipe that nib off before that ink goes everywhere. I'm not seeing any ink in the cap, but it's a number 6 size nib there. Again, like these are not really designed to be posted. So, oh, actually, there is a bit of ink there in that cap. I've just seen it. I'm going to wipe that off there. That piston knob, as that is wood. I don't want it to stain. But yeah, that is a nice pen to write with as well. I do like Sherlock Holmes. I do like Arthur Conan Doyle stories, more so Sherlock Holmes. So I'm glad that was a pen that I was able to add to my collection. And I have a lot of the Sherlock. Well, I actually have all of the Sherlock Holmes stories in multiple books. The Casebook of Sherlock Holmes, and I just enjoy reading them. And I've not read them recently, but I will, when I get time, probably go back to reading them again. The next pen inked up is the Montblanc Writer's Edition, or homage to the Brothers Grimm. Again, a really nice pen. I love this bark effect, and you've got the signatures there of the brothers Grimm, and you've got Hansel and Gretel. I think that was. You get a lot out of this pen. This is what I like about these writers' editions, and I think it even says here. Let's see, just looking here. Yeah, I think that's a phrase that they have, but it's difficult to pick up on camera. But again, a bit of ink there on that nib. I'm going to wipe that off just so we can see the nib a little bit more. There you go. It's a really beautiful nib. Again, it's a pen that you can't post the cap on, really, but I'm not a cap poster, but I wonder how many pens people are put off in buying if you can't post the cap. That I always do wonder. And like, you've got a 50-50 chance of posting that cap. And if you are a cap poster, are you going to avoid buying that pen because you can't post that cap? That's an interesting thing. I'm not sure. I'm not a cap poster, so it doesn't bother me either way. But I can certainly see that it could bother and put people off from buying certain pens. The next pen inked up is the Montblanc Writer's Edition, and this is the Robert Louis Stevenson. If you don't know, Robert Louis Stevenson was the author of it's now blanking me. Treasure Island. I always want to say Pirates of the Caribbean. Treasure Island. And you've got the skull and crossbone there. You've got a compass. You've got the X marks the spot here, all on the barrel. And then you have a much larger X there, which is obviously where the treasure is stored. And if I remove the cap, you've got a number 6 size Montblanc 18 karat gold nib. Again, you can't post a cap, but it is quite a nice size and weight pen. I don't think you need to, because look at that. That is a really, really good size in my hand. Like, all of these are. Like, if I go back to that, like Montblanc Brothers Grimm, for instance, you'll see there that that's a good size in my hand as well. They all are. So I don't think you need to be posting those caps, but I know people are not necessarily posting caps just for the reason to make it longer. So it's also to not lose the cap and other reasons as well. The next pen here, which is much shorter in comparison, is the classic pen CP5, and this is made by Parker. So you've got the Parker arrow clip there, but this is called the Vintage, so it has this lovely vintage wave going on there. And I recall that this was a pen, again, I think from around 2002, 2003. Morelli, who did this engraving, actually brought their machine out of retirement to make this pen. Insane, but it's a beautiful pen. I do like it a lot. I picked this up at the London Pen Show in March this year. You've got a Parker arrow nib there. It is a cartridge converter. Being a short pen, you can post the cap. It's very back weighted. This is a sterling silver pen, so it's not an overlay that you can see there. It is a sterling silver pen, so it's quite thick sterling silver. So it is a weighty pen. So you do have to balance that a little bit in posting those caps. The next pen I also picked up at the London Pen Show in March this year was the Classic Pen CP5 in the Modern. Again, made by Parker. You've got that Parker arrow clip for classic pens. Again, I think this was made around about 2002, 2003 at the same time. Comes with a Parker arrow nib there. I got both of these in a medium nib. You can see it is a shorter pen, but it still looked okay in my hand. You can post the cap, but again, it's very back weighted, being pretty much sterling silver. Again, the cap you can see there. If you can see the black insert in there, that is just a cap insert, just to, I think, really to stop the ink corroding the sterling silver more. It's just really to stop, probably more so to stop the nib drying out more than anything, I would think. So I have that pen inked up with me this week as well. The next pen is the Onoto Longitude, which I had inked up last week. It's a all of this material, the metal, was taken off of a shipwreck of the Association, which was a British HMS. I think it was HMS or HM. Yeah, HMS Association, British seafaring ship, and this was before. This is called the Longitude. So this was, I think, the story goes that the British had worked out how to document latitude and pinpoint latitude within the world, but not longitude. And it was only, I think, 100 or so years later that this was documented, and hence why this is called the Longitude pen. And that aided in recovering artifacts from the HMS Association, because they were able to pinpoint where that ship had wrecked. So it's a really beautiful pen. I like it. And it comes with a number 7 size Onoto nib there. I got it in a medium nib. You've got the latitude and longitude of the Association where it was shipwrecked. It is a good size, and I can post that cap, but it is very, very back weighted. So unless you want to arm wrestle or boost or build your muscles in your forearm and your biceps, then you might actually not want to post that cap, but you can post it if you so wish. The next pen, these are getting a little bit longer, I see. The next pen is the Onoto Flying Scotsman, and this is a themed pen. I really do like this. It looks like the Flying Scotsman engine locomotive. You have a lot of resemblance from the train, including the wheel here as well. Really nice. You've got 4472, which you would normally see on it, and LNER, which was the company, and then you've got the Flying Scotsman there. Really nice pen. You've got blind cap finial there, and obviously the cap finial there. If I unscrew it, you've got a number 7 size Onoto broad nib. I picked this up second hand, never been inked. I bought it on eBay. Glad that I did, because I really am loving how this pen writes. So for me, that is a nice pen. So I will continue writing with that pen. I do like it. I do like how wet that nib writes. And then the last pen inked up this week is the Benu Euphoria Earl Grey Tea. I know I've had this inked up for probably the entire of May when I got this pen, but I'm loving this pen. It was a pen donated, gifted to me from Bill, a viewer here, and I really like it. It's I've already had a broad nib, and this is a medium nib. I'm loving how this medium nib writes. I wish it was easier to buy replacement nibs for Benu. I think you can buy them sometimes on their website, but most retailers don't offer them, which is a shame because I think that might allow people to then swap nibs and like the pens more. But this is the Earl Grey tea. It was a Goulet exclusive there, but you can see it's infused with Earl Grey tea leaves and also blue lavender there as well. Bill bought this for me, got it in a medium nib, which is what I was thinking of buying, but he beat me to it, and glad that I have this in my collection now. You can post that cap as well. It's not a limited edition run. It's just a retailer exclusive, or it might be that other retailers will pick this one up eventually. Like sometimes a retailer will have an exclusivity on that pen. Other times a retailer might just have an initial exclusivity for a period of time. So I don't know. This one might start selling on other retailers. It might just be exclusive to Goulet. I don't really know at this moment in time. But it's a lovely, lovely pen. So there you have it. That's my 10 pens currently inked for this week. I think let's now go and do a writing sample. So the first pen I inked up is the Montblanc Le Petit Prince Aviator. So I think we'll do an ink swatch here. And I really do like the combination of this ink in comparison to the cap there. The leather on that cap. So this is the Montblanc Le Petit Prince Aviator, and it's a medium, and it's an 18 karat gold nib, and the ink in here is KWZ, and it's Nuki Brown, which it's a UK Pen Show exclusive ink, but it's an ink that I like a lot. The next pen I inked up is the Montblanc, and this is a Writer's Edition Jules Verne. So we're doing an ink swatch, and this is a lovely cerulean blue ink. So this is the Montblanc Writer's Edition Jules Verne, and it's a medium, and it's an 18 karat gold nib, and the ink in here is Waterman Inspired Blue, which is a lovely cerulean blue ink. The next pen inked up is the Montblanc Writer's Edition, and this is the Sir Arthur Conan Doyle 1902 edition. So we'll do an ink swatch here. And this is a nice ink. I was going to ink it up with the same ink when I bought this, but I didn't. So this is the Montblanc Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, or Sir Conan Doyle, and it's a medium, and it's an 18 karat gold nib, and the ink in here is Montblanc Toffee Brown, and again, it's a nice brown ink. It's an ink that I like, and I am more partial though to KWZ Nuki Brown. So the next pen inked up is the Montblanc, and this is the homage to Brothers Grimm. So we'll do an ink swatch. And this is a nice dark coloured ink. And I do actually need to check that, because I want to say that that's KWZ graphite, but I might be wrong. Yes, I am wrong. So there you go. This is the Montblanc Brothers Grimm and it's a medium, and it's an 18 cat gold nib, and the ink in here is KWZ Grey Lux, which is a dark grey ink, almost black ink, but an ink that I like. And I'm just checking the, the next one I now know. So this is the Montblanc Writer's Edition, Robert Louis Stevenson. So we'll do an ink swatch on this one as well. And again, another dark grey ink. So this is the Montblanc Robert Louis Stevenson. And I'm abbreviating these a little bit because I'm going to run out of space otherwise. And it's a medium, and it's an 18 cat gold nib. And then the ink in here is diamine graphite. And I also have KWZ graphite, although I'm not using that as much. I've been going more for diamine graphite or KWZ Grey Lux. The next pen inked up is the classic pen CP5 in the vintage. So we'll do an ink swatch here. Now, these are made by Parker, so they have the Parker nib on them. I do find the Parker nibs to be very, very stiff. So there you go. You see that ink swatch there. So this is the classic pens CP5 in the vintage, and it's a medium, and it's an 18 cat gold nib, but these are very, very stiff nibs, and like that's as hard as I can push it. So this is inked up with KWZ Old Smoke, and that is a nice grey ink. It's a lighter grey ink, but one that I am liking a lot. And the next pen inked up is the classic pen CP5 in the modern. So we'll do an ink swatch on this. This nib maybe has a slight more, I'm hesitant to say bounce to it, because it does feel like it. It doesn't feel as rigid. So this is the classic pens CP5 modern in a medium, in an 18 cat gold nib. And I'm just going to, maybe a little bit more, but not massively more. But it just feels slight bounce to it. And then the ink in here is Diamine Earl Grey, which typically doesn't look this dark in a pen. In a lot of pens, but in this pen it does. The next pen inked up is the Onoto, and this is a Longitude. So we'll do an ink swatch here. And you can just see this is quite a wet nib. So this is the Onoto Longitude and it's a medium, and it's an 18 karat gold nib. And the ink in here is Pelican, Edelstein, Topaz, which I did buy, I think it was about 6 months ago. Another bottle of Topaz. I think this is probably now the third bottle I've had of this. I really like that ink. It's a really lovely ink. The next pen inked up is the Onoto Flying Scotsman. And we'll do an ink swatch here. Again, another wet nib, Onoto nib made by Bock. So this is the Onoto Flying Scotsman. It's, though, a broad 18 karat gold nib, though. And I want to say it's probably my only broad Onoto. But I am loving that. So the ink in here is Diamine Meadow, which is a very nice green ink. And then the last pen inked up is the Benu Euphoria Earl Grey Tea. And this was the pen that was gifted to me. So we'll do the ink swatch there. So it is a medium nib, but you can see that that is still quite nice. So this is the Benu Euphoria Earl Grey Tea, which is a Goulet exclusive. It's a medium, and it's a Still Smith nib. And the ink in here is Diamine Earl Grey Tea, which is a really nice coloured ink that I like. So I think let's take a look at these pens inked up one more time. So we have a Montblanc, a Le Petit Prince Aviator in a medium 18 karat gold nib, inked up with KWZ Nuki Brown. We have a Montblanc Writer's Edition Jules Verne in a medium 18 karat gold nib, inked up with Waterman Inspired Blue. We have a Montblanc Sir Arthur Conan Doyle in a medium 18 karat gold nib, inked up with Montblanc Toffee Brown. We have a Montblanc Brothers Grimm in a medium 18 karat gold nib, inked up with KWZ Grey Lux. We have a Montblanc Robert Louis Stevenson in a medium 18 karat gold nib, inked up with Diamine Graphite. We have a Classic Pen CP5 Vintage in a medium 18 karat gold nib, inked up with KWZ Old Smoke. We have a Classic Pen CP5 in the Modern in a medium 18 karat gold nib, inked up with Diamine Earl Grey. We have a Onoto Longitude in a medium 18 karat gold nib, inked up with Pelican, Edelstein, Topaz. We have an Onoto the Flying Scotsman in a broad 18 karat gold nib, inked up with Diamine Meadow. And then we have a Benu Euphoria Earl Grey Tea in a medium steel nib, inked up with Diamine Earl Grey Tea. So there you have it. That's my Currently ink pens for this week. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next pen video. Bye-bye.